Hello there carpologists, I'm Joe, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Outline Camo reel line from Avid. Now you're joining me on the banks of 𝗙𝗆cie today, where it's been a little bit slow on the carp front for me unfortunately, but rather lucrative on bringing in the weed, which is why this big ball of weed is next to me at the moment. And this, believe it or not, is only from about 2 or 3 casts worth. So although I haven't put this line through its paces through catching carp, I certainly put it through its paces on dragging in massive weights of resistance. Now before we get stuck into the video, it's worth letting you know that you can get your hands on a whole bundle of this line for free in a competition. Stick around to the end for details. Now the first iteration of Avid's Outline Mono was around 5 years ago, and that had a makeup of 1 metre's worth of brown, 1 metre's worth of clear, and so on all the way through the makeup of the line. So the idea behind that is that it wasn't one solid block of colour like a rope cutting through your swim. It broke up the makeup of your line and made it harder to detect once underwater. This is just basically a new reinvigorated and redesigned version of that. So looking at the makeup of this, you may recognize the camo, and that's because it was used on a lot of the initial stuff that Avid brought out, such as their lead clips and all the end tackle system. They were acclaimed for having a really unique looking camo system, and that's basically just been transferred over to the main line. So basically it's a multicolored main line, and just like any other item of tackle that you've got, whether it be a rucksack or your bivvy or buckets that have camo on them, the whole idea of them is one, well, probably to look carpy on the bank. Whether it makes much difference to the carp, who knows, but its main idea is meant to be concealment, and that's exactly why this has been designed like this. Predominantly a low vis green is the overall colour, and then you've got flecks of different colour in there. If you look at it from the naked eye, you don't really see any individual colours. It all becomes this one, well, camo pattern. But if you look at it really closely, you've got the green, little flecks of what looks like brown, maybe darker brown, darker greens. It's hard to put your finger on any individual colour, which is great for concealment, especially when you're fishing over and in stuff like this. This line up against the weed just matches in. So many of the colours on here you can replicate right next to me, so it's very natural looking. It's going to conceal your line and hopefully trick those carp a little bit easier. Now that all sounds very good in theory underwater, but what's it like to actually use? Now my first impressions of this was when I was spooling up the reels the other day, and it's a very smooth finish. That's the first thing I picked up on. I opted to go for the 15-pound version for where I was fishing. That seems to be what I always go for, but the strength from this is incredible. Now this is only a 0.33 diameter, and that's one of the big plus points of this as well, is that they're low diameter but still high strength. Now it says 15-pound, but as you can see from to the right of me, if you've ever pulled in a bed of weed, you know how strong this can feel, or how much resistance that can offer. Coupled up with 3.5-pound test curve rods, I was putting my all into bringing those weed beds in. Nothing was given. And that also leads me on to the abrasion resistance. I'm not using any kind of leader, just straight through to a lead clip on here, and it wasn't getting cut up by any of this. Some of this is extremely thick, and you can imagine it grating on the weed and getting dragged through all these weed beds. Nothing gave. It came in, checked the line, no issues whatsoever. So very, very impressive. Casting wise, again, because of the low diameter and the smooth finish, it flies through the rings, no issues. Now, I was just having a little cast about. Granted, I wasn't able to cast as much as I'd like, because every cast I was bringing this in, but I was casting over 100 yards. Even Luke had a little go as well, and he was asked, I think he hit about 120 and just on a few casts, so it flies out. It really is a very decent line. And I've been told that during testing, 12-pound line even hit distances of up to 200 yards, so that's testament to the strength and how far this line can cast. Top it all off, it sinks like a brick as well. I fished one of my rods in the margin yesterday, and at the moment actually, and it's straight down, probably about 10 foot in the margin, so I didn't want to have my line straight down to the bait, so I slackened off a bit and it sunk within seconds, so it really does sink well as well. So the Outline Camo comes in 3 different strengths. You've got the 12-pound at 0.31 diameter, 15-pound at 0.33, and the 18-pound at 0.37. All of these spools, as you can see in my hands right now, are 1,000 metre spools, and they come in at $24.99. But Avid have also been quite clever and very handy, I think, in doing 300 metre spools, because sometimes you don't need to spool up 3 reels, you just want to do 1, and you don't want to get a 1,000 metre spool and waste load line or have it lying about. So a 300 metre spool is perfect for just doing 1 reel, and that comes in at $8.99. So it saves you money on not having to buy a big spool when you only want to do 1 reel. And of course, all those 300 metre spools come in the same diameters and strengths as the 1,000 metre spools. As I said at the start of the video, you can get your hands on a whole bundle of this line for free in one of our giveaways, and that is still the case. All you got to do is the following: like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That will give you good luck when you head over to the Carpology website, go onto the competitions page and find the Avid one and get involved. And just to give you an idea of what you can win, it's going to be 3 1,000 metre spools of £18, 3 1,000 metre spools of £12, and one of each of the different strengths in the £300. So that's the £12, £15 and £18. All of that for free in the giveaway. So good luck if you're getting involved, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comment section below whether you use camo fleck lines or multicoloured lines, whether you think it makes a difference in your fishing, or if you just go for one colour all the way through. But cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.